Hey, what's up? We are back. It is the day before the NFL season starts. So, as our annual tradition is, we're going to do bold predictions. And also, part of our annual tradition, Rodney is drafting live during the show. How is it going so far over there?
So I had the number 10 pick, and I got Dak, and I got Baker Mayfield.
Okay. How many rounds do y'all got?
So it's 21 rounds.
Okay. So 19 to go.
So it ain't looking too bad right now. Actually, it's cool. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of crazy. So if you don't catch me paying attention, but I'm a G at this though. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
you've done it
So
for many years. Like I said,
hey,
it's an
let's rock
annual
out.
tradition. You've done it. You're a pro at it, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to keep your focus
Yeah,
long enough to at least give these bold
yeah,
predictions
let's
out
rock out.
to
We gonna make it work.
it. Well, hey,
Yeah.
we already got Orlando Lewis and Anita Bracy joining us. Um, a little bit of news. I just got back from New Orleans, had a little family trip. They were both there. We had a wonderful time celebrating not just my family getting together, but also my mom's 70th birthday. So, birthday shout out to her for turning 70 in
Happy
style.
birthday.
We had a good time. Had a party bus and everything. So, we lived it up while we was down there. Unfortunately, the producer got sick on the way back, and so she won't be with us. So not only is Rodney occupied, bear with me because I might slip up from time to time because I usually rely on her to keep me in check over on this side. So good well wishes to our producer, uh, and we'll see. So you're doing your draft. How many is that for you right now? Total
This is number 6. This is my last
65.
one. That's it.
All right. I thought I was gonna take it easy this year. I thought I only had 8, but literally in the past week, 2 leagues that I thought weren't gonna happen decided to go on. So I have 10. I had my final one also today,
Jeez.
but I had it before the show started. So it was at 7. We finished around maybe 8:15 or something like that. Um, so I am ready. Hey, hey, our producer, I just noticed this in the chat. Go to sleep. Well, it's good to have you with us.
She in the chat though.
She in the
She's
chat,
definitely in the
so
chat.
maybe she can at least let me know if our sound levels are good. So that's one of the duties that she always does for us. But get well soon. Nita says she's going against both of her sisters. I guess in the women's fantasy football league. Shout out to them, and then the Uptown Comedy Club league that drafted tonight. So it should be tons of fun. Like I said, we're going to do our bold predictions like we always do before the season starts. But before that, is there some NFL news we should be discussing?
Well, I do want to talk about it's not news, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a I'm glad to see it's actually happening
Yep.
type thing. Um they say is 16 starting black African American quarterbacks in the league. Um and for that to be that high
Yeah.
is a great number because it was so hard just to get one black starting quarterback in the league at one point. Now it's 16. And a lot of it
Half the
took
league.
shape. Yes, half the league. And a lot of it took shape because of the athletics of the running quarterback
Mm-hmm.
and the dual threat, which is passing and running for a quarterback. So, hey, look, I think it's a great thing. And it just the opportunity is now there for us to be able to play quarterback, bro, which is great. You know what I mean? Like you can't be mad at that.
Yeah. It's crazy that not used to be a running quarterback was a bad thing. You didn't want a quarterback that could run, but now with the especially with the speed of these defensive linemen right now, if you don't have a mobile quarterback, they don't have to be Michael Vick, but if they can't move in the pocket, you're sunk in today's NFL. So, like you said, I think it's gone from a bad nobody wants a running quarterback to now you kind of need one, or at least a bit shifty, if you will, like
Yeah.
some of the guys from before. So it's definitely some progress, and hopefully, uh, one of the running quarterbacks that we'll talk about has the season that I'm gonna boldly predict he has.
I
uh,
just another thing on that. I just think because that's the way of the land of the college scene now.
yeah, college is giving
Because
you
of a
that,
lot of the
right?
college quarterbacks, they look for that. That you could just watch all over college.
Uh-oh.
Have one starting block. It's just crazy that you got 16 now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think it's a good thing, though. I do.
Well, most
So.
certainly. Here's some other NFL news for you. Not tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's the opening night. We've got the
Mm-hmm.
Eagles and the Cowboys going against each other. The Eagles, of course, are your defending Super Bowl champions. They're going to be raising the banner, and guess who will not be there? The Eagles. Nick Sirianni said that he was not aware that it was banner raising day, and so they
Come
have
on, man.
plans
It's
to
always
be
banner
in the
raising
locker
when you win
room.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't
Really?
what? It's like, do they not have a bulletin or a newsletter in the Eagles, a team email that goes out? I don't understand how he works in the building every day and didn't know banner raising. And even if you just found out today, how much effort does it take to have your team out there when they raise the banners? It's not like you
I,
win a Super Bowl every year, right?
I get the logic behind it. You want to move on from the previous year.
Yeah.
I get it. But at the same time, I mean, like with Jalen Hurts is like, look, I'm not even going to worry. I don't even worry about the ring no more. I get it. You
Yeah.
know, but at the same time, it's more of a celebration. But I get also moving forward because their goal is to win the Super Bowl again. So, I mean,
Yeah.
not being out there, if they want to do that, that's fine. That's on them. So I take that.
They can do what they want to do.
So
It seems to me that they're forcing we're not focused on the past thing just a tad bit too far. Like, come on, there's nothing about being there for the banner raising that's gonna say you don't have focus on this season. But they can do what they gonna do, and that's up to them. But I find it interesting, his logic. But we'll see how that goes. Welcome. We
yeah,
got
we'll see.
Catherine Bracy also joining us, and what did she say? Talking about quarterbacks. Tom Brady. Actually, it was interesting about Tom Brady. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
quite get the full context because I didn't see the interview, but he was talking about how when he watches quarterbacks, he looks for guys that celebrate with his team. He doesn't like the showboaty shotgun, not shotgun. What is this? Handgun, pistols, whatever quarterbacks do, and pointing up
Yeah,
in the
like with
stands, up in the stands.
self-absorbed type
Yeah,
of
self-absorbed
quarterbacks.
stuff. He says he does not like
Yeah,
that in his quarterbacks. He like team celebration guys. Um, do you think that got him away from liking any particular quarterbacks?
he got a quarterback that's. Where have you seen Geno? You watched
No.
Geno. Has Geno ever went down and hugged his offensive lineman? So you got a quarterback that's going to celebrate because when they throw a touchdown, he going to point
Yeah.
to the sky and do something and run down there. Then he go celebrate with his team.
Yeah.
But initially, he's going to celebrate the or pump your fist type thing because that's what they do. They pump their fists and they say, "Oh, let's go get a touchdown" type thing. So that I don't get that. I mean, maybe he's just trying to catch headlines or whatever, but I think that's a little crazy in
I,
a sense,
I
to be
don't
honest
know,
with you. But what
but
do I know?
I guess we'll find out. So hopefully, Gino celebrates with his team every touchdown this year, and hopefully, there's a lot of those touchdowns this year. We'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
um,
Hopefully it is for your sake anyway.
all right. Any other news stories?
All right. Uh, nah, I ain't got nothing else. I'm just happy football back, and that's
Uh,
always the greatest thing ever. Just having football back.
we've waited for a long time. Are there any games you're looking forward
Yes.
to? Any big ones you think might decide some outcomes this first week? Who do your boys play, by the way?
I think honestly, I think a lot of teams are gonna be rusty
Yeah,
this week. Um, from a standpoint of because they haven't played a lot of their players in the
yeah,
preseason. So I think this is their preseason. So you're gonna see a lot of rust maybe these first two games,
mm-hmm.
just trying to get in a rhythm. And I think that's going. So when you see fantasy guys, your big guys not doing nothing, you can't panic
Yeah,
because these guys literally have not played at all. So just kind of by games three, maybe I would say even two, like that second half of that second game, that's when you're gonna really start seeing
yeah.
those guys do work.
Knock that rust off
So
because, like you said,
that's what I would that rest off of there.
there's a lot of
I
starters
wouldn't
who
worry
have
about it,
not played at
honestly.
all this preseason, and so, like you
Yeah.
said, week one is going to be theirs. Y'all play the Seahawks. Expecting any
In
challenges there
Seattle, I
in
think
Seattle?
yeah, man. We gonna talk about that because that's part of my bold predictions.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
well,
we
I
can
don't want
talk
to step
about
on
that.
her yet.
I just yeah, we gonna talk about that.
Well, then we're gonna start on some bold predictions, and for the audience out there, you are invited to join in with us. What makes the show great is when you guys are part of it with your discussions. So if you got some bold predictions you want to throw in, let us know. And of course, let us know what you think about ours. So who's going to start it off? You
I can
have, I think
start it
you have
off.
a few more bold predictions than I do. So how about you start us off?
So I'm gonna say my first one is I'm gonna say Puka will finish as the number one wide receiver in fantasy this year.
The number one overall fan
And because
receiving
if you look
quarterback.
overall,
That
because when you look at his numbers
okay.
from the games he missed last year, he still put up really, 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 really good numbers
Mm-hmm.
over just those amount of games. And you got to think about one game. I think a couple like last year, the year before last, he had 20 targets, no, 20 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think if he stays healthy that the whole year, they're gonna throw him the ball because they it's between Devontae and him, and then you got Kyron Williams. Those three are gonna be your main guys that get work this year. So I think he's gonna be your number one receiver at the end of the year, hands down, over Jefferson, over Chase, over both of them.
How many leagues do you have Puka in? Do you know?
I got Puka in one league.
Okay. Okay. So
Yep.
I I I don't think I landed Puka anywhere. I'm trying to think back 10 teams. It gets hard for me to keep track of who I have and who I don't have. Um, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
have them in one. I'm trying to think of but that's a good one. I was not expecting that to be your start off point. I'm gonna take it a little bit easy myself. And by the way, I think that's a very possible. Because one thing about Puka, he gets receptions. What do you always talk? He had that 20 reception game. Uh, so
Yeah, he
it's
gets them.
he gets a lot of those. So if he can put those into yards, and if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, I think you might have a good chance to get in that one. Um, I am going to start with a bold prediction that's not that bold if you listen to the show last year. And if you even listen to some of my early shows, I've been saying that I think I am usually like a year off on my bold predictions. So I'm going to bring back a bold prediction from last
Mm-hmm.
year when I said that Caleb Williams is going to be the first Chicago quarterback with 4,000 plus passing yards. This year, I think we have a better shot at it because he has a different offensive coordinator. Not offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Detroit, has now come over to Chicago, and so I think that will enable him to really reach his full potential that he didn't have last year. His rookie year wasn't bad from NFL standpoint or fantasy football standpoint, but I think he underperformed for especially compared to another rookie last year, Jaden Daniels. But this is the year of Caleb Williams. Book him for 4,000 yards. He has a great trio of wide receivers. He has two really good tight ends. Even DeAndre Swift catching out the backfield is going to help him get there. 4,000 yards is my first and also repeat bold prediction.
Okay. I I I don't see it. I don't.
Of
But,
course.
I do like the Ben Johnson thing. Like Ben Johnson is the new offensive coordinator. I mean, the new coach. So I think it's going to be a better offensive scheme, definitely. Um, but I just worry about him himself, and I think he tries to do a lot. Or when he's on the field, he just try to prove the narrative's wrong. Like he can't be that quarterback. And
Yeah.
once he get out of his own way, I think he'll be all right. I think that's part of the problem, though. But if he can get if Ben Johnson can get him right, I think he'll be all right. I do.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge. I'm not one to step into a bold prediction, but I think it's also going to be a challenge in the division that he plays. But I think that's going to be a benefit for him because I give a slight preview and say you're going to have to score in the NFC North, and I think that's going to make him have to pass a bit more, maybe than previous Chicago teams have done. So gonna be rooting for him to do what he can do, and I am 100% sure. Like I told you, I'm a year off, but this is the
Yes.
year. So last year's prediction coming true. I almost actually repeated all my predictions from last year, but I said I'm gonna just stick with the one and see if that
Okay.
works out for me.
Nothing wrong with that.
What
I'm
else
gonna
you
go
got?
with, and I've been on this train. We've been in draft together. Cal Pitts is gonna finish as a top 5 tight end this year,
You have
and the
been
reason
big
I
on
say
Kyle
that,
Pitts. Yeah.
Cal Pitts, he's running with the receivers in practice. He's not running with the tight ends per se. So he's not even practicing with the tight ends. He's practicing more with the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna run him as a receiver more than they will as a tight end because we all know he can't block to save his own life. So he's not a blocking tight
He's
end. He's
not
not a
that.
guy that's going,
Yeah.
he's not. You can't put him at the line and tell me to go block this end because that's not him. So what you want him to do is you want him out of space. He's big, he's tall. So you want to have him there as a weapon to get going that way. So I think him himself, I think he gonna be top 5 because I think him and Penix are gonna connect
Yeah.
like crazy. I think it's gonna be pretty good between those two.
For fantasy purposes, I do not like blocking tight ends. That's why I'm not a big George Kittle guy. Even though I think this is going to be a big George Kittle year,
Yes.
tight ends that block mess me up. I love a Travis Kelsey for fantasy purposes. He don't got to block nobody as long as he's catching all the passes. And I think with Kyle Pitts, you have a good. And the greatest thing about Kyle Pitts, most of y'all probably already had your draft since the season starts tomorrow. But you could get Kyle Pitts for real cheap.
Real cheap. I've been getting them cheap every
He's
draft.
so in fact, for some leagues, he probably might even still be on waivers. So if you want to go on that bold prediction, you might want to grab him and stash him. But yeah, I think Kyle Pitts could. But every year seems like it's supposed to be the Kyle Pitts breakout year. So at some point, you kind of feel like the boy that cried wolf. But we're just gonna give it one more try. Let's say this is the Kyle
Yo,
Pitts
it's funny you
breakout
say that
year, right?
because I feel like it is going to be his breakout year. I just think it's going to be his year, and you gotta. I mean, you gotta do it, man. I think this is last shot, honestly.
Yeah, if it doesn't work this year, yeah,
So that's why you got to say, okay, do you wanna how bad do you want it type thing? And for me, it's like, okay, he gotta want it bad enough to say, all right, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. So I think with him and Penix together, bro, I think it's gonna be awesome. I think him, Penix,
yeah.
and London are gonna make, and Bijan, they're
I,
gonna surprise a lot of people, man.
I don't see them winning a whole lot of games this year. Maybe finishing like just below or just above 500. But I like
Hmm.
what they have there with that young core group of talented players. Um,
Yeah,
they might make some noise. Like I said, I don't see them like winning the division or even challenging for the playoffs. But I think they're going to be one of those troublemaking teams this year, where they're not going to be an easy out. So
yeah. I don't think they're gonna be easy out either, but I think they're gonna, and I hope they allow them to play together long enough, um,
yeah,
without trying to send one of them away. Because I think Drake London gonna be there for a while. I think the main one they probably would send away is probably the tight end,
yeah.
just because they know if they don't have any value, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, they're gonna end up trading picks. But I hope they allow it to gel a little bit. Just give it a chance before you decide to get rid of it.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully they give this group and the coach some time together and see what they come up with. Um, what did I just say? I went for my vacation.
New Orleans.
Doggone right. And I was there, not just getting hurricanes from Pat O'Brien's, but I was researching for you guys, the audience. I was scouting, and here's what I'm gonna tell you about the Saints. They're terrible. So
They're terrible.
they're super duper terrible. In fact, if you watched last week, I said I'm picking the Cardinals um, for Week 1 because they play the Saints and they should be a very good defense. That's a strategy I think you can use all season round because my bold prediction is the Saints are going 0-17. They won't win a single
Yo, not
game.
0-17.
This is
Lord,
they are going to be what unless they make a trade for another quarterback. Maybe bringing Jameis Winston back, but the Giants said they're not trading him. Maybe trying to get Shador or somebody. But if they're going to go win the season with Spencer Rattler as the starter and Tyler Shuck as the guy who's going to fill in when they realize that Spencer Rattler can't play, that is going to be a garbage team, and they won't win
well,
a game. So what you should do fantasy wise is follow the Saints through the season. They have like maybe two winnable games. They play the Titans, which is another young team, but I got something for them too. And they play the Jets. Those are the only two teams I think they might be able to beat this year. I don't think either one of those things happens. I'm saying 0-16 Saints. They're going to be back to the Aints putting the paper bags over their heads. They're going to be the worst team by far in the NFL. What you got?
jeez. I'm not mad at you. I feel like they should have drafted Shador anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know what happens with that thing with that. So I just feel like at some point they gonna have to trade for a quarterback, somebody that's gonna be,
Uh-huh.
you know, because even if they go 0-16, they get number one pick, they're gonna be drafting a quarterback. And if you go back and look at the college games last weekend, which I did, um,
Some good ones.
it was some good ones, but the ones that they keep saying the quarterback that's going to do work and all this other stuff, the Manikid, I think the Manikid should stay in college another year.
Oh,
Personally,
yeah.
he looks rattled. He doesn't look like he got control of the offense, and they trying to blame it on. And that's another story. They trying to blame it on the coach.
Yeah.
I think the coach can call in plays, but the quarterback has to run them. So at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter like who is calling the plays. You have to still go. I mean, I watched the kid throw balls in the dirt.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna tank for the season to go get somebody like him, you might as well go get somebody because Cleveland's doing the same thing. Go trade for Shador. I mean, Shador looks. Give him the opportunity. Another name to think about that you could get probably on the cheap next year, a Trey Lance, because the Trey Lance looks absolutely better this year. So that's another one. So if you're thinking about it in a sense, you got to kind of go, and they still young quarterbacks.
I don't know how good any of those guys you mentioned are, but I do know they're better than Spencer Rattler, who was the starting
Yes,
quarterback for the Saints.
I would
Uh,
go get them now,
yeah,
just because of the fact that I know they're young, they're better than Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck.
yeah. Welcome, Carla, joining us on the show. Steelers fans might mention them a little bit later too. Um, I 0 17 is hard to do. It's hard to not win a game, but we've seen it done before, and I fully expect it to go there again. Our producer, the Nyquil, hasn't kicked in quite yet. She talking about you over there. We're bringing Trey Lance up again. Um,
No. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying it like that. What I'm saying
nah,
is he looks better under Harbaugh. Now, we all know what happened,
well,
but I'm
do
just
you
saying.
think Harbaugh lets them go then? Because right now,
See now, but I don't want to
I
make
say
this a
this:
ball.
we haven't seen it, but you can make a parallel statement to Trey Lance's potential and a guy that Harbaugh had in the
See, I
past,
see.
Colin
I don't
Kaepernick.
want. I don't
And
want to put that in the
you don't want to
universe.
put that in the universe.
I don't want to put that in the
I already put
universe
it out there,
because
but
I like Justin Herbert. But I'm
I'm
just
no, not
saying.
just Herbert. I don't see anything happening with, but I'm just saying maybe Harbaugh will see a little something uh, in Trey Lance, like a Colin Kaepernick, and say, "I'm gonna keep this guy here and develop a little bit, and let's see what we got."
No, I'm not. I'm not mad at that.
Uh,
I'm not. But what I and I'm not. I'm always going to be a Trey guy.
yeah,
So that's not even the question. The question is, I think Trey is more mature and he's a better quarterback than he was when he got in the league. So I'm not saying they should go. I think if Trey got a better opportunity with a better, because think about it, the coach in New Orleans is a great offensive coordinator. He was a great offensive coordinator with Dak. Dak had his best season with that coach as the offensive coordinator. So if you telling me you running with Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shook, I mean it's other options out there.
oh, there's
And like you
definitely
say,
other options.
now as far as the charges, is Harbaugh willing to let him go? Now, I don't want to put this in the universe, but hey, we already here. You might as well say it. It reminds you of a situation in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith. It
That's
it
fair.
it could be that situation, but I don't think. I think obviously Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Alex Smith, so I doubt that happens. But at the same time, kind of he's on a 1 year deal, and we know Justin Herbert tends to miss a game or two. Um, so if he gets in there and lights it up and plays well,
Uh
that
huh.
opens the door for him to get a job next year. Now the thing with Shador is not going to get that chance unless because he's on a 4 year deal, unless they outright just cut him
Right.
because they're going to use him for trade bait if anything. That's what they're going to use him for.
I can see that.
So that's what I'm saying. But you can't tell me it's not young quarterbacks out there. Even an Anthony Richardson to a
Well,
certain point.
I say they have young quarterbacks. They just have really bad ones because
No, what
Spencer
I'm
Rattler
saying is they
and Tyler
have
Johnson,
bad young
they
quarterbacks.
have really
When you
bad young quarterbacks.
when you say Anthony Richardson and
Hmm.
you say Shador, those two names pop out as young, talented quarterbacks.
Which is the opposite of what they have in New Orleans.
Which is yes.
Yeah. Now,
That's
I
all
will
I'm saying.
say I hope none of this happens because if they get a decent quarterback in there, my 0-16 prediction goes out the window. I mean 0-17. I mean because it's an extra game. But
I mean, it does, but
I need a
I doubt.
winless Saints season because I'm trying to get some bold predictions right this year. I have a very bad track record.
Well, I think you're both. I think it's gonna come true because they don't. How can I put it? They want to prove everybody wrong that Tyler Shook wasn't a bad pick.
It was a horrible pick.
Oh, he was a horrible
It
pick.
was
Don't
a
get me wrong,
yeah.
but they want to prove that he's not a bad pick.
They're
That's
not
what
going
they
to be
want to
able to
prove.
do that. Now with that,
But
now the sad thing about it is Alvin Kamara is pretty good.
yes,
I think he's going to have a wasted year. They have Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, who are also both pretty good. I think it's going to be a waste of years. I picked up a couple of these players in my 10 leagues, but I have very low expectations for all of them because if your quarterback play is terrible, I don't see how your other players can excel or at least be close to what they should be. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe if you're from New Orleans, and you're rooting hard for the Saints. I apologize for insulting your team, but I call them like I see them. So, hey, your paper bags are on me when y'all are 0 and 12 and you realize I'm right. There you go.
Okay.
What you got?
I'm gonna go. Jordan Mason will lead the Vikings in rushing this year.
You're almost on my next bold prediction. I love that one.
And I say that to say, I love Aaron Jones. Don't get me wrong; he's a great running back. But Mason is he's untapped talent, bro.
Yeah.
And you got to get him the ball. You can't just leave him on the bench. And that's Shanahan left him on the bench, and he shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
God dig it, I don't want to draft him.
How's the drive going? That don't sound good.
It ain't bad. I got Prescott, I got Baker Mayfield, I got Brian Thomas Jr., Scary Terry,
Uh,
Kyron Williams, Kamara, Travis Kelsey, Pickens, Aaron Jones, and I just picked up Aaron Rodgers as my third quarterback.
are you going with my Aaron Rodgers is the best value
Bro, no,
in fantasy
this is
football?
who's left. This is who's left.
The best value.
Daniel Jones,
Uh-huh.
Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Anthony Richardson, Spencer Rattler, Flacco, Tyler Shook. No.
So isn't that great value? You're getting him along with all those other players. So
I got him in the 10th round. So, yeah,
exactly.
you want to say that. Yeah.
So you think I'm right? Okay, good. All right, let me go to my next road prediction. I'm staying in New Orleans. I had a good time down there. Rapper from there, Juvie. What did he say? Back that thing up. I'm doing the clean edited version.
Yes.
This is the year for backups, like Jordan Mason that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I throw a few of the other names out there. Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Waddle, Keaton Mitchell, even Jameson Williams, one I really love. George Pickens, a guy you love. I always got to give love to my man Najee Harris. Jackson Dart. Here's a real underground backup guy, Michael Mayer, tight end for the Raiders. All of these guys, I think, are going to give you some excellent value. And most of those guys, you either drafted really late in your league, or some of those names are going to still be available, depending on the size of your league. And I think those guys that I named, and probably a few other that you don't think of as the number one running back or the number one wide receiver on that team, are going to be able to give you good fantasy numbers throughout the season. Maybe not all of them. Is that some of them? I think like a Jalen Waddle. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually better in fantasy than a Tyreek Hill. It wouldn't even completely surprise me if Jameson Williams outperforms and the Sun God. But my point is, look at some of these second tier backup or number two guys on the teams, because you're going to win championships with some of these guys, because they're going to be able to give you points that no one else is going to be getting, because they're going to overlook these names. And I like the one you mentioned, maybe most of all. You had him off my list in my paper, because we think similarly on a lot of things. So I love the Jordan Mason prediction that you made, because I see a lot of these backup guys are going to really do some work for y'all, for your fantasy teams.
I love Jordan Mason. I love him because he was with us, and Jordan Mason sat for 3 years before he even got a chance to get on the field. And Jordan Mason was third in the league in rushing last year for the first half of the year when McCaffrey wasn't playing. So that tells me that ain't no way you gonna sit here and tell me that he ain't gonna get. It's gonna be a split. Yeah. It's gonna be a 50-50 split, no matter what, and you know that. Yeah. So you just gotta. It might be a 60-40 split. He might get goal line carries because obviously Aaron Jones is probably a better blocking running back than he is. And I think that's Mason's biggest flaw, is that he's not a blocking running back, like on a passing down. So,
look, the truth is, for running backs, at some point it happens, and you start to see that decline. And I think this is one of those years where did I say Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones is still going to be good. I think this year, but you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
see. There's a reason Green Bay let him go, and they were ready to move on to a younger guy. And I think it's going to be a good Jordan Mason year. In fact, in the draft that we had today, guess who's on my squad? Jordan Mason for that
Jordan
very
Mason.
for that very reason. All right, we back at you. And by the
All right,
way,
I
just
got
a reminder: if you're watching, we're not the only ones that have bold predictions. If you have your predictions for this season, be it about a player, a team, if you want to give us who you think is going to the Super Bowl or winning the divisions, put them in the comments and let us know. We need those comments from you, and also hit like and subscribe. What you got?
All right. So speaking of backups, Shador will be the starting quarterback by week 8. And I say this because Flacco is 40. Dylan
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel is 5'8", 5'9" on a good day. Not a good quarterback. But it's not even about that. It's the fact that the first 7 games of their schedule are brutal. So just play it out as Flacco goes 0-3, 0-4 out of that first 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
You already know how they feel about Shador. Shador is probably third on the list, whatever. Dylan Gabriel is going to be, he may come in for that 4 or 5, that 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
games. Shador slides in at 8, and he holds on to the job for the rest of the year. That's my bold prediction. Now, I don't know what he's going to do with the job because the team itself is not great. But I think he will outproduce those guys. And I ain't gonna put a number on it because I really don't know what he would do with that because
Mm-hmm.
he's never played with the starting lineup, so we don't know what he would do with that.
It's the
You
truth
know what I mean?
that you don't want to put a number on it because that risk being the quarterback jinx. So if you leave it, look,
No, no, no,
you
no.
left it general with Jaden Daniels last year, and that went wonderfully for you. So I think it's a smart strategy. Don't get too specific, but just say he's going to get the job, and then watch him blow up.
I mean, yeah, you can say that, but I'm gonna say, yeah, I think he gets the job and he blows up. I just don't want to put it. I
Yeah,
don't know a number to give him.
don't do it.
I don't.
He has the best shot if you just leave it. He's going in there and he's going to do work. I don't see a scenario like I think we've mentioned before. Joe Flacco, I think, is good, but he is not the future. He is definitely closer to the end of his career than the beginning. So at some point, you got to try one of these two rookies out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go through both of them. And if, like you said, eventually it falls to Shador. If they don't go to him first, we'll see. I don't know what's
Yeah,
happening in the practices, but that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. In fact, Shador is getting drafted like people expect him to play this
yeah.
season. So that's a good
I
one.
I, I think he's gonna play. And I think it ain't even about. And I think it's more on the. It's like, okay, when you went to New Orleans, right? You
Mm-hmm.
felt the vibes of a team that wasn't gonna be good, right?
Yeah, they're going to be terrible.
It's gonna be terrible. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so think about it from a put yourself in Cleveland, right? And I've been because I follow Shador on social media, so I get a lot of the Cleveland radio stations, the Cleveland news or whatever, and the fans want him on the field.
Yeah,
So,
there were so many jerseys there. Yeah,
so when you have a player of that magnitude who they want to see, it's going to start rippling through the locker rooms or through the city, and we're not winning games anyway, so it really don't matter.
you're
So
going to
let's
hear it
see
in
what
the
we got.
stands. Uh huh.
You're going to get fans in the stands just because he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has the number one selling jersey for a rookie
Yeah.
quarterback. So at the end of the day, I mean, it is to me the fans are gonna route. They're gonna root for him to play more than anything
Yeah.
because they want to see him on the field. And God, if he go out there and win any game, you know
Right.
the city can go crazy, just in general. So, yeah,
I see.
But we'll
Uh,
see.
we're gonna see. I see Anita saying it's an all bird Super Bowl. She got the Eagles and the Ravens. I was actually going through my Super Bowl thoughts, and I agree on the Ravens. I think this is gonna be the Ravens' year. In fact, let me just scoot on over it into my bold prediction. I got the Ravens in the Super Bowl this year, and I got MVP Lamar Jackson added to his MVP collection. He should have been the MVP, I think, last year. Um, but this is the year I think the Ravens finally get over the hump. I think the Ravens finally make it through the playoffs successfully. They should have beat Buffalo a year ago. They messed up. They should have beat the Chiefs 2 years ago. They messed up. This is the year they do it. MVP season coming for Lamar Jackson. If you got him on your squad, you're going to put up some good numbers, at least at the quarterback position. And I think he's going to have MVP type numbers like he did last year, and they're going to have to give him the MVP trophy. I
Yeah, they
don't
should have
got
gave it
I
to him
don't got
last
the
year.
Eagles in the Super Bowl, but the Ravens definitely.
They should have gave it to him last year.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like truly, he should have been the guy last year to get it. But again, Josh Allen, he
Yeah.
willed that team to victories last year.
hmm
Um, just with everything he does.
I,
So
I think that was sort of like how Michael Jordan could have won the MVP every year,
every
but
year,
every once
yeah,
in a while it's like, well, come on. Despite what the numbers say, we can't just make it the Jordan Award every year. I think that's kind of what happened last year. And no disrespect, Josh Allen had great numbers also, but his numbers were not as good as Lamar Jackson's numbers. And people say it's because Derrick Henry was there and et cetera, et cetera. Josh Allen is doing it all by himself. Okay, that's cool. But this year is going to be undeniable. Lamar Jackson, MVP and Super Bowl champion. Back to you.
yeah, I'm with you on that one. So I like that. Now this is where I like to do my thing, with these
Uh oh.
numbers, right?
Do
Right. Um, Brock Purdy will throw for 4,000 yards,
Uh oh.
20, 21 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. But we will go 6-10 this year.
Ooh. So
Well, I'm sorry, 6 and 11,
6 and 11, yeah, 17.
6 and 11. Yeah.
So you have them missing the playoffs.
Yes.
I actually went through my playoff teams. I don't know if you did yours, did any
Mm-hmm.
yourself, but I went through the seven, and I also left the 49ers off my list.
Yes.
I think Brock Purdy's going to be decent enough for fantasy football purposes, but I'm with you. I don't see it translating to a lot of wins. Last year, the problem was injuries,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of starting off with injuries again this year. It's not like it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't be as injury plagued as a year ago, but I don't think that team is going to be as successful. In fact, I have the Rams winning that division.
I have the
This
Rams
year.
winning the division, but and for everybody saying I'm a hater on my own team, I'm gonna just be totally honest with you. Our O line is putrid. They can't block. They can't stop the run. Well, we can't run the ball. Period. It's not gonna happen. And we're starting 6 or 7 rookies on defense,
Yeah.
and either they're second year players. So basically, we're the only starters that's been there, going to be there for a long time is probably Fred Warner, obviously Bosa, those guys. But we're starting
Bosa's
all
starting to fall
new.
off a little bit himself. I think the
Yes.
age is catching up with him. That defense is getting old.
And then we got to start the season with Ricky Person and Jawan Jennings, who has missed practice
Yeah.
hasn't been at practice at all, basically. Um, so I think when you think about it in a sense like that, Jennings obviously is a good receiver, but when you asking somebody to go from a number 3 to a number 2, possibly number 1,
Right.
you get that number 1 corner also. You got to think about the other side of the ball. And you asking Person to go from a number 3 to a number 2, possibly. So you're going to get those better corners that's going to play you at the end of the day. And how great can you be when you're playing that better corner?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So do you have Brock Purdy getting a lot of these yards and the mop up at
Go-
the end of the game?
I
Uh,
think it's
uh,
gonna be more garbage
Garbage
time
time
type,
point
yeah, type of
yards.
yards. That's gonna make him look good in fantasy from a
Yeah.
fantasy standpoint, but season, from a real life season standpoint, no, I don't think so. Um, and for a guy that's getting paid what he's getting paid, obviously, you kind of want to see him do better than that. But again, it's all about what you want at the end of the day.
Okay.
Actually, I like this team, bro. Oh, have
Uh
mercy.
oh. Are you drafting a
Ooh,
championship team?
man, I like this
You
team,
won that
bro.
league somewhat recently, right?
I didn't win it. I went
It
to the
was the
championship.
championship. Okay.
Yes. But these guys over here, they kind of outside of the Trons of the world. And Byron, they cool, but they just don't. They don't really, I don't know half. I don't know half of them. I know the other half.
Gotcha.
So now I got a question for the audience. I got 22 seconds. I need a running back. Bixby, Scatterboo,
Mm.
or Najee Harris.
Ooh.
Oh, I got 11 seconds.
11 seconds.
I'm going Scatterboo. I like
I
Scatterboo.
was gonna say I bet you goes got it on this one.
I'm going Scatterboo.
I
Yep,
actually I don't have Scatterboo anywhere, but
I do. I got Scatterboo all over the place. Lord.
just this evening I got Tyrone Tracy. Because I think I mentioned to you before, running backs went super early in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I drafted, so I was struggling to pick up guys. I think Scottaboo was gone already, uh, but Tracy was there, so I picked him up. I'm not thrilled about it, uh, but we'll see how that goes. Um, I'm interested in watching the Giants this year for
Mm-hmm.
mainly on defense, but I think their offense could be interesting this year as well.
Honestly, I think Scatterboo is gonna come in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna take Tracy's job immediately,
Uh huh.
but I think he's gonna get a lot of carries, especially in the receiving game. He's gonna get a lot of touches, especially in that portion of the game.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good. They envision him as a version of like a CMC.
Yeah.
That's where they envision him at. I don't. I don't even say I don't see him because I don't watch Scatterboo, but they say in college he was really
I
good.
saw him in a few games in college.
Was he good in
He
college?
did was pretty good. I don't think he was as good as he thought he was because he said he was going to be the best running back in that class. And I was like,
Yeah.
nah. But he was pretty good. CMC, that's a high bar. I don't know if I
Yeah,
see him
that's
reaching that.
definitely a high bar. I just don't see it happening.
But I
I
do think
don't.
he's going to eat. And that's why I wasn't too excited. In fact, I'm thinking now, Scatterboo might not have been going yet because I think, if I remember correctly, I was trying to grab him to go along with Tracy because when I grabbed him, I wasn't thrilled because I know Scatterboo's going to eat into some of
Mm-hmm.
Tracy. Scatterboo's not just a fan favorite; he's a fan. He's a team favorite, or whatever you call it.
Yes.
But they love him there. They expect him to do some big work. So I know he's going to do something that's going to dig deep into Tracy's character.
Bro,
So maybe not
I
50
think he's gonna
50,
take.
but it's going to be close to that, I think.
Well, it may start off 50-50,
Yeah,
but it's definitely gonna end up on a 60-40 scale. Scatterboo towards the end of the season,
yeah.
or probably towards the middle of the season, because Scatterboo probably. Now let me ask you this: how much do you value Tracy's? Was it 1,000 yards? A
Yeah,
thousand yards last year.
he hit 1,000 last year.
How much do you value that?
Tyler Algier hit 1,000
Okay.
yards his rookie year, and immediately disappeared when Bijan Robinson got there. I don't think Scatterboo is Bijan Robinson good, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that 1,000 yards happening for Tracy again this year.
Okay.
He
I can
might
see that.
he might be 70, 750 to 850 range, maybe. The good thing is, like you say, I think Scotty was going to be more involved in the passing game. so maybe it doesn't eat into all of his Tracy's yards, but it's going to interfere with his touches, which is going to have the same effect of decreasing his yards. So we'll see how it goes. I wish I had managed to get them both. Then I wouldn't care.
I mean, yeah, you gotta. I mean, when you think about it that way,
Yeah.
honestly, you just gotta. I don't know. I like Scatterboo, man. It's just something about him. I do. So we'll see.
We're going to find out. All right. Since we're talking to Scatterboo, I go to my next prediction, and it's about rookies. Who's going to be the rookie of the year? Um,
Mm.
for me, the only logical candidates are Ashton Genty, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter, playing both offense and defense. Now, I say this for fantasy purposes, if you're in a league that has independent defensive players, IDP, I think Travis Hunter is going to be your rookie of the year candidate. I only managed to grab him in a league I was drafted in last night, and somebody was like, "Wow, that's a bold move picking him." When I did, I in that league, I went heavy running back for. It was pretty much the opposite of tonight's draft. Tonight, I went
Yes.
heavy wide receivers. I had to make up for all my running backs. Last night's draft, I went heavy running backs at the beginning, and then had to make up with my wide receivers. So my first wide receiver off the board was actually Travis Hunter. Um, and
No, let me ask you now:
yeah,
is that a does is he playing
yeah,
both
and that's the
in that
point.
league?
In that league,
Okay.
we have defensive players, and so somebody in the chat was like, "I don't know about picking him this early," and I had to go back with, "I'm putting him in my defensive spot." So I intentionally drafted him early because he's going to be my defensive back for the whole season. He's only going to step in the wide receiver spot if I'm short on bye weeks. Otherwise, he's going to just stay in that defensive slot. And I think if you have that cheat code, he's going to potentially win you a championship. I'm hoping he makes me a champion in that league because that would be the fourth time I won that league. The one I drafted last night is my fraternity league. And so for that one, I'm hoping he wins me a championship. Do I think he's going to be the rookie of the year for the NFL? No. Um, it's going to be between the quarterback Cam Ward and Genty. Now, what's interesting about Genty is if you watch Boise State, their run game was terrible, and it's not because their offensive line disappeared; it's because Genty was gone. And so, people that thought Genty was going to be good said he's going to be super extra good. And I think the Raiders are going to go from that horrible, horrible run game we had a year ago to being top. I won't say top in the league yet, but we're going to be one of the top three rushing teams in the league because Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. And the Boise State just proved to us how good Ashton Genty is. Book him as your rookie of the year. And it might be a homer pick. It might be a homer
Rookie
pick.
of the year.
But rookie of the year running back, narrowly beating out Cam Ward, who I think is also going to have a fantastic season because I think that team is not going to be that good, but I think he's going to look really good in that role his rookie year. But Genty is the rookie of the year.
So let me ask you,
And hold up,
how much?
rookie of the year and top three in rushing for the league. Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you this: how much do you believe in Bryce Young?
I believe that we saw something from Bryce Young last year that makes me think he's going to be pretty good.
Okay, now based on that, right? Based on how what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to have something to make him look good. So I'm gonna say
Is it the rookie?
the rookie receiver McMillan, is
McMillan.
it
Yeah,
McMillan?
it's McMillan.
McMillan. Um, I think he
He's the
is
rookie of the
gonna
year.
win rookie of the year.
That's a good and very bold, much bolder prediction. I'm not mad at that. I actually was reading somewhere that somebody said Bryce Young is going to be a top tier quarterback for fantasy football this year, and much for the same reason you said. It's that rookie that's going to make him look really good.
Yeah, I think that rookie is going to make him look good, and I think he because he's going to be that weapon.
Uh-huh.
Um, he gonna be their main weapon
Yeah.
in Charlotte in Carolina, just no matter what. So
Yeah.
I think
They drafted Xavier Leggett a year ago, and I don't think they were as impressed with him as they wanted to be, which is why they went early with McMillan in this year's draft. I think McMillan is going to be what they had hoped Xavier Leggett
yes,
would be.
I think so too.
So yeah, I like that. And I actually like the Panthers. I toyed with the thought of the Panthers winning the NFC South. I couldn't do it because number one, I thought Shaq was going to be joining us tonight, and he would have yelled at me. It's going to be Buccaneers, and I also thought about it. And said, "No, I think the Bucks win that division again." But don't be surprised if the Panthers step up and win that division. I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
Well, I got one for you,
Hold up,
and
who
this
do you
is
think is going to be
okay.
better,
I'm
the
sorry. Go ahead. Go
Panthers
ahead.
or the Falcons? Because I was debating on those two.
I'm gonna say the
You
Falcons.
think the Falcons will
I
be
think the
better?
Falcons got better. That nucleus
Man,
of
that nucleus is strong.
that nucleus is crazy. So
That nucleus is strong.
you gotta kind of take that and be like, okay, I'll take these guys, but that's who I would pick. I would pick those. I would pick the Falcons.
I'm not mad at that.
Uh-huh.
All right, back to you.
So this is more of a. I'm gonna stay with my Niners for a minute, but hear me out now.
Okay,
Okay.
tell us about it.
Um, my bold prediction is Shanahan will get fired. Robert Sala will take over
Mm,
at some point of the season. Now, hear me out now.
okay.
Shanahan has had 4 losing seasons and 4 winning seasons. He's been there on his 9th year. At some point, it has to be a different voice
Uh-huh.
in the locker room. You can't keep hearing the same voice. The voice gets stale at sometimes. Ask the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick was there for a long time, and the voice got stale in the room. So I think if I don't know, I just have a weird feeling because the first 5 picks of the draft
Mm-hmm.
were all defensive players made by Robert Sala. So that means we got that out of that first 5 rounds, all of them guys went to Robert Sala. Then that's when rounds 6, 7, 8, and up went to Shanahan. I could be
Okay.
wrong, but I just think something's there. Something's brewing.
I say this. I don't know if I see him getting fired this year, but I do 100% believe there's going to be a price to pay for that team not winning the Super Bowl because y'all had one of the biggest salary caps in the league. Y'all paid everybody.
Yeah,
Um, and got enough. They had Super Bowl appearances, but lost them both. I
yep,
think there's going to be a price to pay because I think this, and we talked about this last year, that when once they played Brock Purdy, and they didn't end up paying him as much as I thought they were going to pay him, but
yeah.
he is one of the top paid quarterbacks in the league now, which means they're going to have to trim the fat other places. I think that Super Bowl window was officially closed. Was
Well,
if they
I
don't
look at it
manage
this
to,
way:
yeah, what you got?
when you pay him that much money,
Yeah,
um, you expect him to be the guy. When you pay any quarterback
has
that
to
money,
be.
no matter who it is, they're the guy at this point now. So they have to be. They're going to be your number one guy, your number one guy for the next 4 to 5 years, however long the contract is. Right now, you don't have money to spend on other positions
Yeah,
because when you pay the quarterback, another position get left behind at some point.
yeah,
So now that's why you got to go into the season with a Jennings and a Person, and the O line is not that great. But you got, and we've always been top heavy, no matter what.
yeah.
We've been top heavy for the last 5 years, and top heavy hasn't won us a Super Bowl.
Not at all.
So I agree with you. At some point, you have to pay the deed
Yeah,
if you don't win games or don't win the big game at least. So you got to pay the piper at some point because it just don't. You just can't go. You can't skate free without doing that. It just don't add up.
Do,
And there's got to be some repercussions for you not winning, right?
do you see him getting fired during the season, or is it going to be they missed the playoffs, you're out of here?
I think if we go 6-11, we miss the playoffs. I think that's the kind of nail in the coffin.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they let him go, and because if they say, well, it's injuries, rookies, second year players, that
Mm-hmm.
type of thing, to me that's not an excuse. Because you watch teams like Houston with CJ Stroud as a rookie go win a division and win a playoff game. So I don't want to hear none of that. You know,
Well, this is my last. I do have some. If you want to talk about playoff teams and divisions, I do have that in my back pocket. But this is my
mm-hmm.
last official bold prediction. Um, and you might not like this one. I'm gonna say that the sophomore slump is real, but the third year bounce back is also real. What I'm telling you is look for CJ Stroud and Jordan Love to bounce back from somewhat down years a year ago. Some of that was due to injury, but I think people were fantasy disappointed in those two players.
Yes.
Look for both of them to bounce back from a down year. But what ailed them, and Jordan Love wasn't technically in his sophomore year, but it was his second year as the actual starting guy. But what ailed them, I think, is going to ail two guys, one of which I know you love, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. I Not a huge slump. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they're going to fall off, but I think they're going to be very much in that same field of you expected more from Bo
Yes.
Nix and you expected more from Jaden Daniels based off their rookie years. Don't be surprised when you don't get it from either one of those. They're gonna fall back a bit because they were, and it's not that I don't even know if I call it so much a slump as
Yeah.
is regression. You like what they did was so far above what you should have seen from a rookie that I think they kind of sink back to a little bit of normalcy as you get more film and defenses try to figure both of those guys out a little bit. So
Now,
there you go.
I definitely agree partly on that because I think even with like Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix is in a system.
Yeah.
He's in that Drew Brees system where they're going to throw the ball regardless.
Yes, they will.
So he's going to get his numbers, which is the crazy stat is he threw the ball 500 times, over 500
Yeah.
times last year.
Did not see that coming.
Didn't see that coming from the beginning of the season. So when you think about that from
Mm-hmm.
a standpoint of okay, is he going to do the same thing? If he's throwing the ball 500 times as a rookie, just imagine what he may do. And they still don't have the strongest running game because yes, you have
Yeah.
RJ Harvey, you have you know other running backs there, but I still think it's going to be a passing passing team because it's a passing league,
Yeah.
obviously. So you want to base you're gonna base it off that anyway, just because it's a passing league.
And I think it's going to be a tough division. Of course, the Chiefs are still going to be the Chiefs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the Chargers showed some improvement a year ago. They're not really what you think of as a passing team, but I think their run game is going to be very strong, and it's going to open the door for some passing. So I think a team like the Broncos, even though their defense is really solid, I think they're going to have to throw the ball. Maybe not like you said as much as they did a year ago, but it's going to be
Yeah.
those numbers of attempts aren't going to drop off dramatically because I think they're going to need to just to keep up. Like you said, it's a passing league and it's a tough division. Even the Raiders, I don't think are going to be horrible. I
No.
like that.
No.
Hey, one thing about Pete Carroll is I think he's going to at least have the Raiders playing respectable ball. And if Ashton Genty's going to be a top three running back, like I told y'all he's going to be, and maybe I'm a
Can you
year
tell
early
us
on
that
this, I'm
now?
gonna tell you
Is
he's
it
going to
really
be
going?
top three.
Is it
Then
really
that
going to
means the
happen?
Raiders
Is the
going to have to
question.
be good. It's going to happen. Look, this year or the next.
Well, you always off by a year or two, so
Yeah, yeah.
I give you that. So you're always off. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Um. Oh man, this team is looking good so far, man. Lord,
Uh
woo.
oh.
They got 18,
What round y'all at?
18.
Okay, so like three more. Is that
Yeah, so I'm picking.
okay? So
So you play with
you throwing darts at this point.
No, not really, because
No, no.
you play with a defensive lineman, a defensive back, a defensive player,
Okay.
and a linebacker. You have to have them.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so just going through trying to find because there's nothing really left as far as like receivers.
Yeah.
I could Brandon Ayuk is available.
I'm mad tonight's draft. I
Oh,
missed
yo,
out on
wait a
Brandon
minute.
Ayuk.
Hold up, man. Don't. Is it an injured reserve spot up here?
Yeah, I've been getting Brandon Ayuk in a lot of leagues and sliding him in my IR spot, and I completely whiffed on it this time. I saw somebody grab Brandon Ayuk, and I wanted to punch my computer screen. Cause like, how did I not think about? I've been doing Brandon Ayuk this whole draft season, and
Oh,
completely forgot to do it today.
I'm gonna get Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I'm not mad at
Man, I'm gonna have to wolf on something though, man.
that.
No, no. Oh no! Wait a minute, jerk.
What? What? Oh, did somebody just jump you on Ayuk?
No, because I'm gonna have to. So you only get 50 pickups per year. So you only can pick up 50 players. And after that, you can't pick up
Right.
nobody. So I'm gonna have to drop somebody. And if I don't, jerk, jerk. Man, no, no, no,
While he's
no.
drafting, just a reminder: if you got your bold prediction, thanks Nita for putting your bold prediction in the chat.
I'm sorry, y'all.
If you
I'm
got
sorry.
some, feel free to drop those in. It can be bold predictions about players. It can be bold predictions about teams. If you got Super Bowl picks or division winners, playoff teams you want to shout out that you don't think other people are expecting, let us know in the chat. If you want to take a guess at MVP, Rookie of the Year, or any of those other categories, hit us back in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't done so
Please
already.
do. Please do. I apologize, y'all. I feel like I'm doing a great job of tonight. Also drafted too. So
Yeah, I mean, you like I said, you're a pro at this point, so we look forward to hearing how well this team went.
man, I gotta get Brandon Ayuk, man. I can't leave him out here. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna have to cut somebody
Right.
if I do draft him, and I like all my players.
So we in the comments. I see Leno said the Raiders still exist. Yes, the Raiders still exist.
Raiders do
Look,
exist.
I kid you not. I was this close. I was talking to the producer on her sick bed. I made her some soup, by the way. She said it
Good
tasted good.
job.
I don't know whether she was just trying to make me feel good, but I tried to nurse her back to health. But I was talking to her saying, I'm this close to wanting to say the Raiders make the playoffs. But I'm like, but that just doesn't sound too realistic. I'd be happy if the Raiders aren't the last place team in the division, which is going to be a challenge in itself because that division is, like I said, it's going to be pretty doggone good. Um, I think we might be able to take if that sophomore slump happens for Bo Nix. I think we might be able to grab the number 2 spot. I think the one that's going to still be the Chiefs, probably the Chargers, still in the second place. But if we can grab third, I'm gonna count this as a winning season for even if it's not a winning record. If we can be third place in the division and at least beat each other teams we play once out of the 2 times we play them, especially the Chargers, I'd be happy. And I say the Chargers
Well,
because we should own Los Angeles with our history. And if the Chargers continue to be good, I fear that we might lose some of the Los Angeles fans to the Chargers. I
so
hope
let me
not.
ask you this:
Yeah.
um, Give me your top 3 games first week.
Number 1, and I'm not surprised that they did it, just for the fact that they try to make week one interesting. I love the Bills and the Ravens.
That's an awesome game.
Rematch from the playoffs. It's in Buffalo, but I got the Ravens winning it. Like I said, the Ravens are my Super Bowl pick. I love that one. I'm so glad they gave it to us week one instead of making us wait for it. Um, I like the I like I'm trying to see how much. I don't know if I want to put it in my top three. I want to say I like the game that started us off with the Cowboys and the Eagles, but that's more
That's a
so
good one.
because I expect bad things for the Cowboys, and I'm kind of hoping to see Jerry Jones embarrassed on a national stage. What do you think of that, Micah? We didn't talk about it for the news. What do you think about that Micah Parsons trade?
Um, I think I was talking to somebody about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Dallas did the right thing.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Hear me out.
Okay.
I know I'm not a huge Dallas fan. But and I don't even now I'm not even compare it to the Herschel Walker trade because it's not. It's not. If you know what they
Mm-hmm.
got 5 players. So do yourself a favor. Go watch the documentary on the Cowboys on Netflix.
Okay.
And you'll know about that trade. That trade kind of can break it down for you.
Yeah.
So, but I give you a little bit. They traded for 5 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he cut all 5 of those players. In return, they got draft picks for cutting them.
Mm-hmm.
So he turned those 5 players into draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the Michael Parsons trade, I'm not giving him $47 million. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it
That
because
he
that
makes more
number's crazy.
money. He makes more money per year than Pat Mahomes does.
That's a crazy number, and
Crazy
for a
number.
guy
Uh huh.
who hasn't produced from a defensive standpoint in the playoffs, right? So he hasn't did much in the playoffs when it's time to show up.
Yeah.
That's when you show up the most. Now, and again, to get two, what people are not realizing is they getting 2 first round picks from them,
Yeah. I
plus
like that.
their own 1st round picks.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, they got 4 first round picks for the next 2 years. What they can do with those 1st round picks is crazy.
Yeah. They can rebuild and reload.
I mean, because they can find a linebacker slash DN whatever to take that spot in the draft who's younger, who's cheaper, and you
Mm-hmm.
still will be on a 4-year deal, 5-year deal. Um, so for me, I think it was a great trade for them, and they can sign some of the players that they really want to sign.
Mm-hmm.
So for like, say for instance, George Pickens has a great year,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to sign him. Yeah, they can sign him because okay, we got our guy.
Yeah.
Now we good. So I think it's a good deal, and I think they did what they were supposed to do. Michael Parsons, they already say he hurt anyway,
Yeah.
which is even crazier. He's hurt, but they say he gonna play, but he hurt, so he gonna have to get an epidural every week to play this year.
Yeah.
So I think they got out of a not of a bad situation, but a situation where they could get something back. And they got a defensive tackle that's a 3-time Pro Bowler who
Mm-hmm.
can help them in the run, which they was weak in. So I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of people say Michael Parsons won because he got paid. I really think the Cowboys won, just because what they can do with those picks.
I am surprised, not just because Jerry Jones has been getting ragged across town, um, but I actually agree with you. I,
Yeah.
after they paid Dak Prescott way too
Mm-hmm.
much money, and they paid CeeDee Lamb out the window, but probably more so worth it. I didn't think they could afford to pay Michael Parsons. I
Nope.
didn't see the contract 47 million happening, but I didn't think they could afford to pay Michael Parsons. I think they got some pretty good compensation, and like you said, with those first round picks, they can do so as long as Jerry Jones uses them correctly. they
Yes,
can
that's
kind of
what it
put the
comes down to.
Cowboys, because let's think about it. They've had Michael Parsons, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, other players for the last few years, and they haven't won playoff games. So it's not like what they had was working. So if you can get rid of a huge salary and get some fresh rookies with these first round picks in the long run, Jerry might have actually done the right thing. So I'm with you.
Now, hold up. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you another spin on it now. Give
Okay.
you another spin. What about just say Dak go out there and doesn't have he has an average season. He has a good season,
You can't be
but
averaging
they don't make the playoffs.
$60 million. Yeah.
But I'm saying
Uh
they
huh.
don't make the playoffs, right? Just think about what he can do with those picks
Uh huh.
because he can ship out a Dak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trade with whatever you can get for Dak, you get back for Dak. It may be 2 firsts or 2 seconds, whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? But you can turn those picks into a new quarterback
Yeah.
and start fresh with a CD Lamb and a George Pickens, and that's your core for the next 5 years.
Look, Archie's not coming out this year. Granddaddy already said that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But
But
if you got those picks for the future, Archie stays in Texas, goes to the Cowboys,
bingo.
win. And I don't like the Cowboys winning, but I'm
Oh,
not
hold
mad
up
at it.
now.
And by the way,
Hold up now.
I also don't have the Cowboys making the playoffs this year. So I'm right in line with where you're going.
Well, think about this now. Say you don't go get the Manning kid, right?
Mm,
Say, all right, cool. We'll go get Shador. Think about what we're talking about here.
mm,
Him and Dion, best of friends, love each other. That's his guy. You don't think, and you know Shador supposed to be a problem for everybody,
yeah.
which we all know he's not. But that's the going senses about him. Jerry loves problems. He embraces
Look, he won
problems.
Super Bowls with a whole problem team.
Yes, he embraces
Maybe that's
problems.
the problem. They
So
don't have enough problems on this current team. That's why they're
bingo.
not winning. Yeah.
So you can get Shador at a cheaper rate. I'm just throwing it out there because that it kind of lines up and it makes sense. Shador, you're not going to get a first rounder. You're not trading a first or second or third.
Yeah.
You're probably going to trade a fourth or fifth rounder for Shador. And now you have pieces to build around a younger quarterback.
Yeah.
Pieces already there with CD and George Pickens.
Well, then I'm going to say for certain, even though I think the Eagles are going to mop them up down the floor, I still think I
Yeah.
have the Eagles and maybe the Eagles and Dallas is in my top three for this week. And maybe I'm just excited that we're going to finally have football.
Yes.
So I had the Bills, Ravens. I got the Eagles and the Cowboys. And my third pick, I'm not even sure this isn't my favorite of them. I got the Packers winning the NFC North, and I am really looking forward to this Packers-Lions game that's coming up this week. I think both teams are going to be really good. I think
Yes,
both
I
teams
do
make the
too.
playoffs. I said I expect a bounce back year for Jordan Love. They got maybe a true number one wide receiver. Jaden Reed, unfortunately, is going to be playing injured this whole year. You mentioned Michael
So
Parsons.
who is their number
So
one?
I
Who is
think
their true
Golden.
number one?
If
I think Golden is.
if Reed is hurt, then I think Golden is the obvious number one.
Yes.
I think the Packers win the division, and I'm looking forward to this first game to see how they compete with the Lions. I don't have the Lions winning the division, mainly because they lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. I don't see how that doesn't affect you as a team, but I still am looking forward. I think that game is going to be really good. And I think
Well,
the over under should be really high on that game, and so that's one of those good not just betting games but fantasy football games. Pick players on those teams because they're gonna put up numbers for you.
I'm gonna say from a fantasy standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you 3 games that if you got these players,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll be all right, right? Or you got somebody on that team, I think you'll be all right. I think that Houston and Rams game is gonna be a great fantasy game. Um, I think that Baltimore and Bills are gonna be great fantasy games. I'm gonna shock you on this one. I think that Cleveland and that Cincinnati game is going to be. Oh, hear me out.
Okay,
It's
I'm
going to be
listening.
great because Cincinnati defense stinks. It's
Oh,
not great. And the one thing that Cleveland does has they have defense,
they
but I
have
think
defense.
Cleveland is they're going to have to try to keep up with Cincinnati from an offensive standpoint. Just because of all the offensive weapons they got, they're gonna try to keep
Hmm.
up with them anyway. So the guy that's probably gonna benefit the most from that is probably Judy.
I can see that.
Judy and Joku, those two guys are probably going to benefit the most from that matchup if you got those guys. You're probably getting those guys late anyway because nobody's really thinking about
Nobody's
not thinking about
resting
Judy,
Judy.
but Judy is not on people's radar
No.
like that. Um, but I think I really like that Houston game though. That Houston and Rams game is going to be a really good game
Yeah, I
because
think
I
it's out of division, out of conference NFC
yeah
versus the AFC. I think it's going to be really. I think those are both playoff teams, and we get to see it early. I want to cycle back to that Browns Bengals game though. Are you at all concerned about the notorious slow start for the Bengals?
no I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why because they did something different this year. They
Okay.
had a stat for Joe Barrow. Joe Barrow from 21 to 24, he played a total of five. It's either 3 or 5 preseason games total between those years.
Mm-hmm.
He played all. Well, no, I'm sorry, snaps. I think it
Two
was
snaps.
3 snaps between 21 and 24.
Mm-hmm.
He played 25 snaps alone this year in the preseason. So I think the big thing, and I think they were listening to that whole slow start thing, and think they wanted to put that to bed because he played with the second string unit in that last game he actually played in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he really is trying to start off pretty like hot. He don't want to start off slow. So I think they come out the gate playing fast anyway because he played those extra snaps. Because technically, that's why I say most of these teams are going to start slow because a lot of these quarterbacks have not played, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe a series or two, and they put them on the bench, and all of them rusty. The
Uh,
Bengals are probably going to be ahead of people.
well, I say this: uh, Joe Barrow's alma mater, LSU, is also been known for slow starts, and they got it done week
Yeah,
one against Clemson. So maybe inspired by them finally winning their first game, the Bengals start off hot. Um, the Bengals are a lot of people's choice to win that division, and Jamar Chase, of course, is a lot of people's choice for the number one overall fantasy player. Joe Barrow's a lot of people's number one quarterback. Uh, Especially if you are a yards, touchdowns,
yes,
strong league like the barbershop and the gridiron are.
yes.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they start off. I'm not sure about how hot they would be at the beginning of the season, but I don't see Cleveland as an obstacle
No, no,
for
no.
them.
What I'm saying is
So I think
this:
I'm starting with you. I think they start off good.
they start off good, and they trying to. And when I say that, okay, so think about the situation at quarterback for Cleveland. Everybody, they want to hold on to the job. So Flacco gonna have to put up numbers to hold on to the job to try to get a victory out of that situation.
Yeah, I actually
Now,
like with your I actually like Flacco week one. I think he's gonna have a really good fantasy week. I'm tempted to start him in the league I have him in. Tempted, not necessarily gonna do it, but tempted.
I ain't saying start him. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's a
no,
bit
that's
much.
why I said tempted.
That's a bit much, but
Tempted.
I'm just saying I think it is from a fantasy standpoint because I think single players are going
Mm-hmm.
to have good games.
Yeah,
Barrow, Chase, Higgins, Chase Brown. And then
yeah,
you got Njoku and Judy
Judy.
are those guys because you got to stay in the game, honestly. So you're gonna have to be in the game. So to me, I think that's a good one. But I really like that Houston one. I think that Houston one will be good. Obviously, the Chiefs game and the Detroit one too. I think I'm anxious to see the Detroit one just because of the fact of Ben Johnson not being there, and they lost their defensive coordinator. And I want to see what type of offense they're gonna look like, and what the quarterback is gonna look like in that offense, because that's what I want to see the most out of all of it. But I mean, hey, it's gonna be a good weekend. I just can't wait, to be honest with you.
The best thing is it's finally here. We've been waiting all off season for this, and we get
So
rewarded tomorrow. So whatever you're doing, make sure you buy TV and watch this. We got Thursday and Friday games this week, so it should be fun.
yeah, I can't wait. I'm done drafting.
Congrats. You got a Super
Yeah.
Bowl winning team over there?
Mm. For what I was drafting at, I felt like I did pretty well. You know, I can hang my hat on this team. I was drafting at 10. There's a lot of good guys in that league, man, as far as like
Yeah.
talent. They know how to play. There's a lot of guys over there. So I won't go get everything I wanted anyway. So I ain't really worried about that. It is what it is. So I'm just roll with what I got. I think I do got a good team, though.
Okay.
I think I can win something. So
All right.
we're going to see.
Well, you're in, I think you said 6
Yeah.
leagues. I'm in 10, so we'll be reporting how well our teams are doing. With 10 teams, one of them has to be really good. So
You hope.
I hope.
You hope now.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to win all my
you're
leagues
winning
this year.
somewhere. So you know what league I want to win.
I know.
So
I know.
I'll try to make that cash right now. But
Hey, look, there ain't nothing wrong with that now. Ain't no, there's a lot to go up there. So yeah,
we'll see.
it's a lot. But hey, I appreciate y'all sticking with us tonight,
Yes.
even though me drafting and all this other stuff. But I
You
appreciate it. I feel like I did a good job. So,
we didn't
man,
lose you at any point, so good luck to you. And out there, good luck to you all with your fantasy football teams. We'll be here every Wednesday. If you got lineup questions, hit us up on social media. Where's my thing? There it is. Hit
it's
us
right on
up on
top.
social media. Hit us up with comments on the show. Let us know how your fantasy football teams are going. And join us every week and be part of this discussion. Love having you guys here. Appreciate y'all being a part of it. And we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy some
Big.
football.
Like and subscribe, please.
Yes, indeed. All right. Peace out.
All right. Hey.